Just hope you're doing good and enjoying your life. I today I'm going to talk about the conditional access, which is actually quite interesting and powerful. The policy which actually enforce your organizations when specific conditions occur, and how you can allow certain applications and block. This is the one and most of the critical and tricky topic to touch with, because this conditional access. If your devices doesn't meet the conditions, it will block, right? And if your devices meet the conditions, it will allow. So, and it's very uh, very very I don't know how to say. It's very powerful rules I have seen in the whole Azure AD or Microsoft ecosystem. So let's get started, right? So what is the well we'll do the first create the policies and then apply, right? So what you have to do, you have to open the endpoint.microsoft.com, or you can open the portal.azure.com. It's the same. I mean, you can open from either from the Azure portal or from Microsoft End portal. So it's the same. So this is the portal.azure.com. Here, if you click on Azure Active Directory, okay, and you see here the conditional access. Sorry for some. Yes, it's conditional access. Devices. No. Okay, but you can find it maybe. Yeah, you see Azure AD conditional access. Yeah, you can just search it on the top, and you see same. If you browse from the endpoint.microsoft, I mean endpoint manager portal, you can go to the devices, right? And here in the policy section, you see the conditional access policy. The same, it's the same redirecting to the Azure portal. So either you can open from the portal.azure.com or from the Microsoft endpoint portal. It's the same thing. So I'm closing the Azure portal. Both are actually interlinked, and you have to be global administrator to access this conditional access policy. So if you are a Intune administrator or cloud device administrator, you won't be able to access this conditional access policy. You must have the access to view, or to you must have a roles or permissions to access this conditional access blade, either in Azure or, right? So either you will be part of the global admin, or you have conditional access roles, then you will only be able to access it. Check with your directory team, and if you are managing the directory services or Azure AD, you can, of course, you will be global part of that too, right? So what you have to do, you have to create the new policies. There is two options. You can new policy through templates or this new policy. Okay, you can select templates listed are customized based on the type of identities, right, or by the devices, right? So I am not going to, but you can create it by template. I am just familiar with the create the new policy so that I can show you. So here you have to give the name, right? So that you can control based on the conditions, right? Will bring together, right, and then enforce to the policy like device compliance. So normally you have to allow Outlook applications. So I am creating the policies to allow Outlook mobile for iOS or for mobile OS, right? For all mobile operating system, right? All mobile OSs. Okay, so I'm just giving a name, or conditional, or you can just give conditional access policies for Outlook mobile, for Outlook mobile OS. Okay, for allowing Outlook mobile iOS. Okay, and then you have to select all users. If you want to allow for all the users, you can select all users, right? If you want to select the groups, you have to select the groups. You have directory groups here, you have select user and groups, right? I have some of the groups here, you can assign to the users. So I have created some of the groups, right? All iOS devices, you can select it. All MDM COD devices, you can select it, right? So I am selecting all users. For the testing purpose, you can select users and groups and select the users, right? And if you want to open for all the users, open for all users. I am selecting open. This is include or exclude. If you want to include for all users and exclude for some users, right, you can do that. Just select this one and this one. So the policy will allow for all users, excluding this group of users. Okay, cloud apps. Under the cloud apps, you have to add the applications you want to apply. No, because I am just selecting Outlook application, so I am not going to apply this cloud to the all cloud apps. I will select the application, and here what you have to do, you can select the O365, which includes what is all these applications. You can learn more, right? So if you select Office 365, it will apply to all these applications, which we are gonna not do, right? So what we have to do, we'll select only Exchange Online. What is Exchange Online? Of course you are using, I'm sure, O365, so we'll select O365 Exchange Online. So if you select Office 365, it will apply to all other applications which I have shown you here. These all applications are coming under the O365 client app, and this policy will allow for all these applications. So make sure it includes Teams, other applications as well, right? Exchange Online as well. So but I'm not gonna select this one because I'm just allowing for Outlook applications. You are just allowing for Outlook application, so just select Exchange Online, select it. Okay, you see, selecting even Exchange Online will also affect such as OneDrive and Team, because Outlook has dependency with OneDrive and Team applications, of course. So it has dependency. So make sure if you select, it will also allow Team and OneDrive, right? Conditions. Now come to the user risk level. You want to set high risk, medium. You can set it sign in risk level. If you want, you can just select yes, right? It will generate the alert on your Azure if it's they find it any sign in risk, right? Now device platform, of course I have selected mobile OS, so I will select yes. Any devices, no. If I select any devices, it will apply to all. I am selecting only mobile, iOS, Android. If you want to just allow in phases just for iOS, just select iOS. If you want to select Android, select Android. You can exclude it here, right? But I am selecting for mobile, so I will select only iOS and Android. I am not using phone, Windows Phone, so I will not select Windows, Mac OS or anything. Just click done. Locations, I am not selecting any locations. If you want, you can, if you have trusted location, you can give it. Client apps, yes, you have to select yes. This is too important. So the first is cloud apps, device platforms, and the client apps, which is actually important. So what here, you want to block the Exchange Active Sync client, because Outlook is not using, Outlook mobile app is not using Exchange Active Sync client, and this considered as a legacy authentication. So Exchange Active Sync client is only used by the Samsung native or any iOS native. So and all other clients like which are actually using IMAP, POP or SMTP protocol, you can block it. Just uncheck it. You can uncheck even browser as well, uncheck it. So I'm just selecting mobile apps and desktop app. Yes, this is important. Filter for devices. I have shown you in my previous video how you can apply the filter, how you can create and apply the filter. You can go to this video and watch it. How you can apply the filter. Okay, so here if you want to apply the filter, just include the filter, right? And select the device ownership type by equal pickup value company owned. It will apply to the company owned devices. Okay, let's apply the filter. It's not mandatory, but if you want, you can apply the filter based on the attributes. So even if the user is a part of the AD groups, it will apply to the company owned devices. If you don't want, just don't apply the filter. Okay, now go to the grant permission. So whether I have selected conditional access policies for allowing, so of course it will be grant. If you blocking, just block, right? It's very simple. So I'm selecting grant, right? And what is that? It's all for mobile devices. So devices has to be multi-factor authentications. It's always required. Devices required to be marked as compliant. Of course, it should be compliant. Hybrid Azure AD, of course, it's not required. Approved client app, yes. This is an app protection policy. It's for BYD. If you want to apply for COD, of course, you can select yes or no. This is most important. You have to select required. You can see the list of approved apps. So you see Outlook here. Outlook, these are the approved apps. So you have to select required devices mark as compliant for company owned devices if it's company owned. If it's BYD unmanaged devices, and you don't have to select it here. So an approved app, this is required, and app protection policies if you want to apply. If you don't want to apply the app protection policy, you can uncheck it. So for BYD devices, you have to just select these two, right? And if you have a BYD traditional BYD MDM managed, then you have to select this one as well. And if you have unmanaged devices, you can just select these three. So I have shown three, right? Let me reiterate it again. If you have a company owned if you have a company owned fully managed devices, you have to select these three, right? Multi-factor authentication is required, devices has to be compliant, and device app has to be approved app. Okay, if it's a BYD managed MDM managed devices, then of course these three are required. If it's unmanaged MAM devices, which then you have to select this one and uncheck this one and select this one, app protection policies. If you want to apply this app protection policy on MDM managed devices, whether it's a BYD or COD, then you have to select all four. And here you want to apply this all four check to the devices, then only allow. You can select all or one on. So of course I want to apply for the company owned devices, so it has to be multi-factor, it has to be compliant, it has to be an approved application. I don't want to apply the app protection policy on whether BYD or COD devices. I just want to check these three, whether if its application is approved, if its device is compliant, if it's a multi-factor authentication, they can access. So I will select all these selected controls, select yes, and you can turn on this policy. As soon as you turn on this policy, create. Okay, let me giving sub let me disable this. Okay, let me turn on this one, and within 24 hours the policy will get applied. In fact, it will get applied within 1 or 2 hours, but it's Microsoft is recommended it will get applied in 8 to 24 hours. So this policy has been created, you can use that, right? This is very good. You can publish these applications and apply it, assign to the users, and Outlook will be allowed. And this is why it's important. Even the Exchange active sync rule is blocked or set to quarantine, this conditional access policy will take precedence over Exchange active sync rule. So don't confuse it. Even it's blocked, even Exchange active sync rule is set to block, And if you grant the permission of Outlook application from the Azure Conditional Access policy, your email will be allowed. So this policy will take precedence over Exchange activation roles. Okay, and it's mentioned in the Microsoft guide. So now I have shown in this video how you can create and apply this conditional access policy and allow Outlook applications. Thank you for watching this video and keep sharing. I am just creating this knowledge video for all of you to just get to know how you can create these policies and use that Microsoft Intune. Till then, thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day. Rajesh signing off. Thank you.